There is a town in North Ontario with dream, comfort, memory to spare. Hey, it's Nate with another piano tutorial. Today I'm doing Helpless by Neil Young, originally released by Crosby, Stills, Nash & Young. This might be the simplest song I've ever done a video on. It's just 3 chords over and over again. But man, I love this song. It's just got a feeling to it, this beautiful, mysterious yearning. It is so simple that I'm gonna go ahead and give you 2 options for keys to play it in. The original key is a bit high for my voice, and some of you might be in the same boat. Let's just get into it. Okay, so first off, I recommend you get the chords and lyrics chart. There's links down in the description. That'll help you follow along and see where the chords and the words line up with each other. But in this case, there's 2 versions of the chord chart, one in the key of D, one in the key of A. So first you'll have to figure out which one you're doing. So try singing along a little bit. In the key of D, it's gonna be, there is a town in North On. So it goes up to there. Helpless, helpless, helpless. That's the original key, but I'm also gonna show you in A, and there's a chord chart for that. That's gonna be, there is a town in North Ontario with helpless help. That's as high as that one goes. If you have a really high voice and you wanna sing higher than Neil Young, you can also use the key of A and just sing it up. There is a I can't do it, but that might work for you. So I'm gonna teach it in D first, and you might wanna watch this even if you're doing it in A, because I'm gonna more carefully go over all the little cool details and rhythms and stuff. But here is the chord progression we've got. It is a measure of D, a measure of A, and then 2 measures of G. So for D, I'm gonna start off with just single bass notes in the left hand. Thumb on D here, and then A, D, and F sharp there. Then for the A, we can kind of just collapse our hand down. Our thumb can stay on the A. It's gonna be A, C sharp, and E. I'm using my 4th finger there. And then just stepping down to a root position G major chord, G, B, D. And we're in kind of a fast 4/4 time. So each of those measures gets 4 counts. We're thinking 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. And I'm gonna pulse on the right hand on beat 1 and 3. So the whole progression would sound like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Of course, with the singing, we got, there is a town in North Ontario, and so on. And that's the same progression for the chorus and everything. So there are some little optional details that we can throw in. I'll just go through them one by one. One would be to do octaves, at least for the D here. If you can stretch it, especially because one of the little things that the piano throws in sometimes on the recording is going 4 and 1, 2, doing the top note then the bottom note. It's a nice little touch, and for this and some of the other details we need to think in 1/8 notes, so we're dividing the beat in half, thinking 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. It's kind of like a swung 1/8 note, and so that would just be 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, just kind of on the and after 4 leading in. I'm gonna throw that in sometime. And speaking of left hand rhythms, sometimes just to give a little bit more movement, 3, 4, 1, 2, just kind of hitting on beat 4 song, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. And something that I think sounds really good that I don't really hear on the recording, but is 2, 3, 4, 1. So just kind of on that beat 4 in the last measure before it repeats around, just stepping up to an A bass note, just kind of leading back around. So I'm gonna be throwing that in, not necessarily every time, just gonna feel it out. Also, there's these cool little decorations that happen throughout where we go do these little bluesy, like turning the G into a G7 chord and just kind of stepping down thirds. So the 2 alterations you need for that would be to just kind of stretch your hand up, still keeping the G here. Although I guess you could just let go of it if that's easier to stretch. But D and F and C and E, and then you can step down to that. Da, da, da. The timing that most often happens on is the and after 2, like of the first measure after you get to the G. 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2 and 3, 4 and, like 2 and 3, and then 4 and climbing down. But sometimes they just hit on that and after 2. Sometimes they hit on the and after 2, but they only go up to that one and back. So a lot of variety. And one thing I would say is when you're just holding down the core rhythm, just you and piano, you don't have the guitar holding it down. Sometimes it feels a little bit more disjointed and can throw off the rhythm to do the and after 2. So I think that works really good on beat 3 and then 4 and. So like 1, 2, 3, 4 and. So you still hit on that beat 3 where we're kind of expecting the pulse of the song to be. And those decorations happen especially in the intro where we go around for 2 passes before the singing, and also in the chorus, I guess, where you're singing helpless, helpless, helpless. And one other thing I want to say is for that chorus, if you want to just go to all octaves for more power, that works too. I know I'm just throwing a lot of options at you here, but we have such a simple chord progression. There's a lot we can do with it. One final decoration would actually be on the A's, which would just be a quick little sus4, just stepping up to the D there. Sometimes they throw that in. You could even throw that in after the first chorus. We go around twice in an instrumental section, and I think that's a good spot to do a lot of decorations, including maybe probably gonna go up an octave there actually. Okay, cool. So let's talk about doing it in the key of A. Here's the chords for that. It's gonna be really similar. We'll just go back for a sec to just the single bass notes. A is shaped just like the D was. So thumb on A, E, A, C sharp. Then collapsing down just like before, except for now we're on E, G sharp, and B. And then stepping down to a D major. So this one is not shaped like the G was. It's got the F sharp in it. D, F sharp, and A. And we could just start playing like that. There is a town in North Ontario. I'll probably still do the octaves there. Although depending on your piano, the octaves might not sound as good in A because it's so low. But I am gonna do it at least on the A note. And for those decorations, it's just white keys. So A and C, G and B, coming down to the D chord. If you want to throw in that little sus4, that would be on the E chord, just stepping up to A with the 4th finger, back down. Just a few final thoughts here before we wrap this up, and these apply to either key. Definitely keep in mind the dynamics of the song. It's really chill and quiet, although for the choruses, helpless, you're gonna get a little louder. Just remember to pull back afterwards when we get back to the next kind of verse. Blue, blue windows. So make use of all that dynamic range that your piano has to offer. Also, I'm gonna be using the sustain pedal, just holding it down with a quick lift every time the chord changes, smooths things out. And the final thing is on the recording, it just kind of goes around and around again on the helpless, 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 fading out. For just a solo piano version where you can't just turn the volume down, I think it would sound good to just end on the D, or in the key of D, ending on the G. So ending on the last chord of the chord progression. So helpless, helpless, helpless. If that feels super unresolved to you, you could then land on the first chord. But I think the unresolved feeling is appropriate for this song. Okay, thank you for watching. I hope that was helpful. I am now going to do a full cover so you can see how all those parts fit together. And I'm doing this one in the key of A because it suits my voice better, but you should pick whichever works for you. And if you found this video helpful, give it a like. Also, subscribe to the channel if you are not already. Click the bell so you know when I put out more videos like this one. And drop a request in the comments. Actually, I've always loved this song, but I only thought to make a video on it because someone did request it. Anyway, here's my version of Helpless. town in North Ontario, with dream, comfort, memory to spare. And in my mind, I still need a place to go. All my changes were there. Blue, blue windows behind the stars. Yellow moon on the rise. Big birds flying across the sky. Throwing shadows on our eyes. Leave us helpless, helpless, helpless. Baby, can you hear me now? The chains are locked and tied across the door. Baby, sing with me somehow. Blue, blue windows behind the stars. Yellow moon on the rise. Big birds flying across the sky. Throwing shadows on our eyes. Leave us helpless, helpless, helpless. Helpless, helpless, helpless. Helpless, helpless, helpless.